Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
YouTube, what's going on, guys? Iggy MB5679 checking in. It's Friday right now. The date's June 7th, my sister's birthday today. Happy birthday, Lynn. But you know the dates and days, I don't even follow no more. Everything is just like it's like what's that movie? It was right here in PA, Groundhog Day. Every day is just like a repeat. It's just like almost like how jail is, man. It's just same stuff. Chemtrails in the sky, government's lying, this, that, and third, and then we're sitting here telling prison stories. So, like I said, guys, I took requests from you guys to go back to my mom with, so I did that, and my original plan was to come down here and we was gonna talk about more of her prison bid, right? I'm with my mom right now, but we kind of changed it a little bit. I guess you could say narrative. So today, here's what we're gonna be doing. Me and my mom, we're gonna shoot this video, okay? And there's a lesson to be learned here, a message, strength, hope, and experience, and just the differences, how everyone is different. We're all different people, and we all come from different backgrounds, but at the same time, we all got the same story. And I guarantee you, anyone who done prison time, or anyone that been in addiction, both, or anyone that just had a troubled life, I guarantee you'll relate to this. Now, I'm gonna start off by telling you this. This is what this is about. We're gonna go over mental health, dual diagnosis, what my mom's gonna share, the story of why she has trauma on her brain and got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, okay? But first I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell you guys, like I said before, my dual diagnosis. I've been diagnosed since a kid with ADHD, severe depression, anxiety, bipolar, and then I had all them since I was a kid till now. And then when in 2007, I was 18, I think, 17 or 18. Something happened in front of me, and around 2008, I got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. It was about a year after what happened. Okay, so now those are my dual diagnoses, and when you'll see when my mom comes on here and shares, it's damn near a mirror image. I'm a mirror image of her, I guess, 'cause it's my mom, but we damn near mirror the same diagnosis. It's crazy. But real quick to give you guys a recap, okay? This is my mom's video. I just want to share this. All right, so those are my diagnoses, whatever. I've been suffering from them because I had a little rough childhood, whatever, this, that, and the third, no excuses. But in 2007, I might have told you guys some of this before, but in 2007 at this time, all I did was smoke marijuana. I was an athlete in high school. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of crimes and I got sent away too, but I was mainly an athlete in high school until it happened, and all I did was smoke weed. That's all I did, okay? Well, in 2007, about to turn 18, one of my best childhood friends got killed in front of me. All right, he got shot in his head right in front of us. It was like a real, the scene was just, it was just a bad scene because the bullet went in his neck and it exited his cheekbone. Okay, so he got shot in the back of his neck and the bullet left his cheekbone. So his cheekbone's out here, the hole in his cheekbone's like this. And just remember the image till this day. His eyeball is like up here, and it's like, it's just a bad image in my brain. Is it still recording? It's just a bad image in my brain, and so that's what happened. And he dies there on the spot, right there in front of us. Okay. Now, reason why I'm sharing that is because at that time I was getting in trouble as a kid. Okay, nothing too serious. I mainly was getting in trouble stealing cars and selling crack at that age. I used to sell crack and stealing cars. That was like what I did as a juvenile. But like I said, I only smoked weed. All right, now that gave me this nightmare. All right, that vision I just told you I had, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into the nightmare and stuff. I'm just briefly explaining, and you'll understand when you hear my mom talk too. I had this nightmare for 6 months, around 6 months every single night, okay? And this nightmare was just, it was Mike, my boy that got killed, would come into this dream. I'm not gonna tell you the whole dream. It was always the same exact dream though. But the main part of it was that he would be okay in the beginning of the dream. He would be normal, and then he would turn in a doorway, and when he turned back around in his doorway, half of his face would be blown off. Really messed with me. So I see this dream every night. When I woke up in the mornings, it literally would make my day start off bad. It would just make my day start bad. Well, you know how the story goes. Next thing I do, I start dibbling and dabbling with Perk 30s and Vicodins, and then one thing leads to another. And honestly, that's no excuses. I'm just saying that's what triggered it. That event triggered it. And another just brief description of some of the traumatic stress disorders that I dealt with was the dreaming, okay? Finally, when I got diagnosed, they put me on this pill that was supposed to make me stop dreaming. Biggest nonsense I ever heard in my life. I didn't stop dreaming, and I found out that the pill that was from a psych doctor was really to lower my blood pressure. It's called mini press. So they lied to me about why they gave it to me, and it wasn't even a psych med to begin with. Mini press, 5 milligram mini press. Anyway, I had this stint in jail, okay? And this is only in jail when this happened. It didn't ever care. This part of the PTSD never really happened on the street, but I would have to tell my cellies, all right? If I got a new cellmate in jail, I'd have to tell him, I said, listen, bro, if I don't wake up for breakfast, I would appreciate if you do wake me up. I do want to eat, so if you could, you know what I mean, just give me a little holler. If I don't wake up though, just let me go. And you know, of course they would all say, all right, I got you, bro. I said, no, but listen, you have to understand something. When you wake me up in the morning, do not put your hands on me. Especially don't like startle shake me like, yo, Iggy, breakfast, breakfast, breakfast. Because when this would happen, I don't know why, but whatever this from the PTSD, it never happened until my boy got killed in front of me. That's when it started happening with them dreams. But if someone would wake me up like startling or in a hurry or quick, I would just wake up and I would swing like half asleep, and I didn't even mean to. Like when I would come to, it was always someone I was cool with, and I'd be like, damn, my bad. But I had to start explaining to my cellies, don't wake me up like that. Don't shake me. Like I still don't like getting woke up like that, but nowadays I don't start swinging on someone. I eventually grew out of this. But that's just something that was a very serious that I went through, because this lasted a long time and I dealt with it. Every new cellie, even someone I lived with for 6 months, one day he would just shake me and I'd start kicking and swinging. I don't know what triggered that reaction, but it's something. And most of that time I was still having the dream, but the dream eventually ended and I was still doing the punching. But now I want to get this over to my mom, but the moral of the story be on my side, because you need to hear my mom's to all make sense, is that, you know, life started out, I'm a product of my environment, you know what I mean, I'm you know, from the city neighborhood, you know what I mean, mom and dad were drug addicts, you know what I mean, I just was into the lifestyle, but I kind of learned from that. I kind of knew in high school, like I'm not supposed to do that. But I smoked weed. Well, dude got killed in front of me, one of my best friends growing up as a kid, and whatever that did to my brain, just immediately everything, all them lessons I learned and all the people I seen in my family that drugs destroyed their lives, all that went out the window. And now, because I got so much pain that I'm dealing with, and I don't know how to deal with my emotions, and you know, I'm a young kid, and it was either violence or drugs. Only way to get this pain out is either by committing an act of violence against someone else or pop a bunch of perk 30s, until of course I had a mean habit and one thing led to the next. Here I am at 30 years old and just got out of prison for 1 year. Been out of prison for a year. But I'm sure when this video's done, you guys are gonna understand what I'm saying. I know it's loud in here. I hope I can play this, but you guys will understand what I'm saying, that we're all different people and we all got different backgrounds with the same exact story. And you know what I mean, if you've ever been through anything like this, I guarantee you can relate. But let's get over to Mom Dukes, man. She's about to open up about a real tough topic for her to talk about. But I got her to open up about it because it's actually therapeutic. It's good to get this stuff off your chest. So listen up, guys. Okay, but we'll jump right into this. All right, briefly, we're going back to the 90s. Okay. Mom Dukes is at a point of life. She had a rough childhood, which led to problems as an adult. She was already in her addiction, early stages. She was at a point though where she really could have beat it. You know what I mean? She was getting back and forth, getting better, messing up, getting better, messing up, but so young that she had so much time. Like, this was her chance to turn it around, right? And at this particular time, Huggy, my stepdad you guys met, had went to Florida. So my mom is actually on her own, and something happened that is gonna trigger me. I can't stand hearing about it. Just tell them this, because that's how much it triggers me, and I just can't stand to hear it. So she's gonna pick it up from right there. In the 90s, the kids got taken by CYS, and you are battling addiction, but really, I mean, from what I understand, I know I was young, but you had a chance at that point to really, you know, like, today could be different, put it like that. Tell them what happened, up in Garfield. You was alone.
Okay,
You're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
Alright, I wasn't, okay, I lived pretty on Baywood Street by myself. I didn't have my kids because, they were taken because of drugs, selling drugs. And also the state put a restraining order. I wasn't allowed within 500 feet of my own dad's house, and that's where my kids were. So, my addiction got worse, plus I was only in my 20s, my early 20s. And things happened where Huggy moved to Florida, and I stayed up here for a while. I wasn't supposed to stay up here for 18 whole months in Pittsburgh, but I did because I was running the streets in my addiction real bad. I just spiraled down completely because I couldn't see my kids. He was gone. So anyways, I lived on Baywood Street in East Liberty by myself, and some girl, Karen, that I knew lived on Morningside Avenue. She brought some people up to my apartment, and you know, that crack dealer lived right underneath me on the second floor. I was on the third floor, and she brought this I am not prejudiced, but she brought this black guy, and I've never seen him in my life. And he came up to me and he asked me if I could cop for him some more hard. So, like,
what that means is get him drugs, guys. Cop is like, he asked my mom to get him some crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so it's okay. So I got in his car like an idiot. I didn't know. We drove up to what we call the Bow, Colombo Street in Garfield Heights, where I knew everyone. So anyways, we go up there, and of course everybody comes up to the car over to me asking me what did I want. So I looked at him and I said, what do you want? And you need to give me the money. Well, he didn't that is not what he wanted. He didn't have any money. So he drove away, and the only thing I remember next was I was trying to get out of his little black sports car that was only like 2 doors. There was kind of no back seat. That's what I remember. And he had locking mechanisms on his car, like a police car would. I couldn't get out. And he was speeding, and I mean, he already had punched me in the face because I kind of yelled about, like, why did you bring me up here to people I know when you don't have any money? Why did you even, you know, take me from my apartment? And he just got crazy, and all I know is he started drilling me in my face, and then I blacked out. And the next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital in the emergency room. 21-year-old kid found me on the bottom of Colombo Street, where it runs into Negley Avenue.
So you're in, I'm not sure if they're going to hear my question. So you're in his car, you couldn't get out, At what point did he start beating you up in the car?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In the car.
Yeah.
And then the kid finds you on the street from the car.
Yeah, like hours later. It was like 3 o'clock
He
in
didn't
the
take you
morning.
in a house or apartment?
I don't know. He beat me to a pulp. I got knocked out. I was unconscious. And actually, thank God, because he raped me. I was found by a 21-year-old kid at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of Colombo Street at the very bottom where it runs into Negley Avenue,
right.
half dressed in a pool of blood and like a broken glass, one shoe on, but my clothes were torn. So the kid just moved me out of the middle of the street and he called 911.
That was the white kid that found you, right?
No, he was a black kid.
Oh,
He
the
was
black kid found
yeah,
you.
real
Okay.
nice black kid, 21 years old.
Shit, he might have saved your life, huh?
He saved my life for sure. I was in
Yeah.
the middle of the street, unconscious.
No, you ain't got to cry, huh? I
Okay, so-
understand. I know. I'm just saying, you don't. It's all right. It's over with now.
Right. So, anyways, I wake up in the emergency room, and you know they're doing a rape kit on me, and they gave me that pill, you know, so I wouldn't get pregnant. And anyways, I went back home like 2 days later, and I'm at my apartment, you know, and my face was just tore up for 3 months. It was like terrible. Plus other injuries on my body. Well, I was sitting on the front porch one day, and like a week later, and the 2 detectives pulled up, plainclothes detectives. And they came and, you know, of course they made sure who I was, identified myself. They made me identify myself. And they asked me to describe him and the car. And I did. And they had a picture. They opened the folder after I described him and this black sports car, just 2 doors. It was real small. And they told me he was wanted for rape and attempted murder on 2 other white girls. He beat them with a crowbar.
Wow.
After he raped them. And they wanted me to testify. They had a warrant for his arrest. He was still on the loose, and he knew where I lived. So I was scared to be home in my apartment by myself.
I don't mean to cut you off, but did this happen, or am I misunderstanding? Did he come to your house with a gun?
Yes.
The black. Oh,
Yeah,
you did?
yeah.
My fault. All right, well, my bad. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did you skip that part?
No, that
Oh.
happened after the detectives left. The guy that lived 3 doors down, his name was Luther. He was also a person that sold crack. And
Right.
he was friends with this guy, and I had no idea. And he told him that detectives were talking to me. So obviously he knew this guy was a rapist.
Okay.
So here, after just 2 days or 3 days, something like that, after the detectives were talking to me, and they were going to pick him up, and they wanted me to testify and this and that, but that was going to come later on. But anyways, he came on my street in the middle of the afternoon. It was spring, and he came with a gun. And all he did, we were outside, me and a couple other people that lived on the street. It was in the middle of the afternoon in the spring.
Broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
Yep.
And he just yelled, "Bitch, you're not going to snitch on me," or something. And he had a gun, and he started shooting it. And thank God he wasn't a good aim, because I didn't get shot. I mean, everybody ran to the back alley, and the cops were called, and they blocked off Baywood Street all the way from Chislett down to Negley Avenue. The cops blocked it off. And then he ended up putting the gun to his own head on my entrance, the side entrance of the building I lived in on Baywood Street.
Oh, I hope he pulled the trigger. Did he pull it?
No, he was a piece of shit coward.
Yeah, he was.
So they talked him down.
Pussy.
And
Ooh,
they locked him up, and then they came again to see me, and for me to go and testify. And I said, "You have 2 other girls to do this. I don't want to go to court and face this guy. what he did to my body while I was unconscious is just, it's disgusting, you know, and it took me a long time to heal physically, but I don't think I'm ever gonna heal mentally with that. So I left for Florida. I took off to Florida to go down with my husband, with Huggy.
So you ran to Florida so you didn't have to testify, right?
I just left. I didn't even tell them I was leaving.
And you never end up testifying?
Nope.
What happened to this dude, do you know?
I have no idea.
He must have went away, right?
Well, they got him. They arrested him when he had the gun.
Oh, that day. Now they
That
want
day.
you to testify from jail.
Right.
He was in
And
jail.
they were trying to get the other 2 girls that he raped and beat with a crowbar.
Right. You must have been the one that had the visual and could remember or something.
Yeah, I described him in the car because he was in my apartment. I couldn't believe this girl that I was friends with brought him to my apartment. She didn't even know who he was because I went to her. I wanted to kill her. And she said, I didn't know. Yeah, she didn't even know him, and she brought him into my apartment. A rapist. And attempted murder on 3 of us. Me and 2 other girls that I never met. Never met because I wanted nothing to do with it. I left for Florida. I just left my apartment and everything in it.
They were all white girls, so he obviously was like one of them serial rapists that had a fetish for white girls.
Yeah, his victimology was
white women.
With
a drug addiction.
Yeah, white women, and he preyed on them with the women that white girls that got high, that were hooked on drugs.
He was a big ass dude. Wasn't
he was very big.
Yeah, because I never got to see him, guys. I wish I did, even though I was young as hell. But
yeah, and it took me 3 years to tell Huggy.
Talk about it. Oh, to tell
Huggy. Yeah, it took me 3 years to tell him.
3 years before she told her husband.
Yeah.
I hope they could hear me on that.
Yeah, and it took me so long to tell my therapist. A very long time.
Now, Mom, what happened? And obviously you said you rode to Florida, and next thing you know, you're where?
Prison. Well, fighting my case, because I got in trouble 3 weeks after I was in the state. And I was still a transient. Still had my Pittsburgh PA ID on me, so that they consider that transient. There's just so many people from everywhere down there.
So this traumatic event changed your life in numerous ways.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I just was so, I just got into trouble so much in Florida, 0 tolerance. Huggy warned me of that. I didn't listen because I was so strung out. And I ended up in jail. And then I ended up in prison. And then 6 months after I got out of prison, I was in gun club doing 9 months for a fight because I beat some girl to a pulp.
Tell them what gun club is and where. Tell them gun club's the West Palm Beach County Jail.
Yeah, gun club is in West Palm. Gun club is in West Palm Beach. There's 2 county jails, gun club and Stockade.
Hear me, but guys, once you, I don't know if you can hear me, but once you, you know, when you look at someone and say, man, that person's crazy, man, that person's always angry or shot at, but when you hear stuff they've been through, it helps you understand, if you know what I'm saying. But now go back to the experience, going through that, go to prison. Oh man, what was I gonna ask? That's what I want to ask you. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But that happened with him. In prison, was you any type of victim or anything to rape or anything like that?
No.
Why'd you answer like that?
Well, no.
You never said nothing like that to me. I was asking just to put it on record.
Yeah, no. I mean, things happened to me in there, but not that, no.
And I actually was referring inmate to inmate, not guards at all. Inmate, you wasn't. No, all right.
No. But my friends did rape an 18-year-old that came there. She was charged as an adult. I don't know her crime, and I lived in Bravo dorm.
They're loud.
Yeah, and she was raped by 5 of my friends that had natural life. They raped her with a bottle and a brush and I don't know what else, but they raped her. I'll get into that story because it was terrible. Crime scene investigation came. Next time, next video.
We want to stick strictly to this learning experience from traumatic events. Now, can you name any other things that left a scar on your brain, and till this, now today, did it get better? Like today, it took 3 years to tell your husband, it took multiple years to tell your psychiatrist, but years later today, are you over it? Is it better? Is it gone? Did it go away?
No. Something like that never goes away. My doctor today, as a matter of fact, because I just lost one of my best friends. They found her dead. She spent my birthday with me on Memorial Day, and then she went home, and 2 days later, her dad found her dead, overdosed in her apartment. And that was hard. That was hard.
This the lady that just died? Yeah.
My friend Carrie. And matter of fact, she's being laid out today up Garfield, McKay Brothers, and I just don't want to go. I don't want to remember her like that.
No, I hear you.
But the family keeps calling me, wanting me up there. Anyways, I went to the doctor today. I seen a psychiatrist because I'm on a lot of medication. And he said to me, he says, the trauma, PTSD trauma, stuff like that, like even with Carrie, dead, overdosed. And the thing that happened to me, he said it'll never leave you. You know, but you could, I don't know, somehow the therapist and medication and stuff like that is supposed to make it go away, but I'm 51 years old. I just turned 51 on Memorial Day. And that happened to me when I was in my 20s, and it still, when I talk about it, I get so, I was violated. Yeah.
I understand that you still battle to this day. Now, me personally, I can say that my post-traumatic stress experience from the homicide in front of me, that one has gotten a little bit better, you know what I mean? Of course, I still have that vision in my mind. It will never go away. I miss dude. He was a good dude. He wasn't even a bad person. But like the PTSD that I suffer from the most today is being so institutionalized, being in prison.
Right.
Like I'm so used to it. Now,
well, you've been locked up since you were 14.
Yeah. Now, but back to you. I wanted to ask you, and I'm giving you the mic back. Where did this take your addiction? When you got beat up and raped, and you ran to Florida, you end up in prison. I'm not saying, I know you ain't gonna make it an excuse for it. How did this trigger your addiction?
Well, as you know, like when I left for Florida, I got in trouble right away, and it was over drugs, my escape charge, all my bonds that were so high. And then when I went to prison, I used drugs. I had my husband bringing them in.
But what I'm saying is that part of this usage was to mask up that traumatic experience.
Yeah, yes,
right?
it numbed me.
I did, right?
Yeah, it numbed me. You know, and plus my kids. I've never gotten over my kids getting taken, never, and I never will, till the day I die.
Right.
You know, there was, kids get beat, kids get molested, there was nothing like that going on.
They know that.
I understand it was because we were in addiction, and I'm not making an excuse like, but we were still taking care of the kids well.
They know that, trust me, I told them everything.
But, look, when family members keep calling CYS, they're going to get taken.
Right.
And I am grateful that they went to my dad's house.
I mean, honestly, Lindsay and Nicole is better off. They end up better. But me, I might have been better off staying.
Yeah.
Because that pissed me off. Go wrap it up, Mom.
Put your comments in, like what else you would like to hear about prison. Dade Correctional Institute and Broward Correctional Institute. And when I did 9 months in gun club, things are just a lot of things went on, and I think it should be told. And a lot of it was, I was still in my addiction. And even when I was on the inside, I still went after that addiction to numb it. You know, I did my time. I didn't let my time do me, but how I did my time was staying high. And I'm not saying that's right. Yeah, no, exactly. Right. You know, but I did. Okay, thank you. And please bring your comments. And I want to talk about Mandy again, my best friend that's still in prison.
Yeah, they already requested Mandy.
Yeah.
All right, let me see
so
that.
until next time, thank you.
I mean, listen, one thing I just want to say real quick, I'm wrapping this up right away. It's so loud in the background, man. These people are doing this on purpose. I mean, as hard as it is, turning to get high, to numb pain and mask up things that you're dealing with is the worst thing to do, because, and I'm just going to use me as an experience, like this is 17, 18 when I started eating pills, okay, and now I'm 30, okay. That same pain is still there all these years later. Oh, it made it go away for temporary. It also caused way more suffering. It also caused way more suffering. And let me think, more problems. Prison. I hurt family members. Like when a case like me, I didn't have no victims in my case, but you always have victims in a case. And when you just get in trouble by yourself, you say who's the victims? Well, your family are the victims, okay? I mean, they got to deal with that. So that's definitely one of the main things to point out, is that running to these drugs to cover up pain and to run from issues and resentments isn't the way to go. So not in any way, shape, or form are we glorifying it or promoting it. We are telling you all the horror stories that came from it, okay? And how years later, this was back in the 90s with my mom, and that triggered, that made stuff worse. Just trust me. Where she was then to the time in between, that made things worse. She had a better chance that she might have 20 years clean today instead of, you know what I mean, just a couple months. But anyway, I just want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, the meaning of this video, the reason for this video, and just know everything you get here is raw and real. It's true stories, man, to the bone. Iggy MB5679, get true to die line, man. See you later on the night live.